Just a little aside here. I realized I was going to need a drum for these lessons, and I don't own one, and because of the pandemic, I don't have access to one, so I had to make one up, which is this. Of course, you kids can do this at home too, but just don't be too loud about it. We don't want to annoy the people that we live with. Okay? All right. Hello, students. This is Ms. Ruth, volunteering with the public schools in Oakland, California. Today's lesson is about rhythm, which I spelled out for you since it's a little bit odd. A lot of consonants in that word. So rhythm, what is rhythm? And for our purposes as beginning music students, I would say rhythm is something that we can do to the pulse to make it more interesting. Because if we just have the pulse going, boring. So we need to do something with this pulse. And what are the things that we can do to it? So I selected 4 things. The first thing we can do is we can count this pulse. And that'll make it more interesting. I'm just going to turn it on and we'll count it. So let's count to 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can change this to various counts, and that gives us a little more interest, gives us something to hang on to, because now all of our pulses are not the same. We have a number 1 pulse, a number 2 pulse, and whatever, so we can get in or out and play on any one of those pulses. So the second thing we can do with those pulses is we can accent one of them. So if I do that, let's say we have 3 counts going. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that helps to provide a little interest, and that is a rhythm. All right? Okay. So another thing that we could do with this pulse is that we could make one of them silent. And I have a familiar example of that. Let's say that I'm going to be silent on the 2nd count. Maybe I need to make this faster. Let's make this faster. No sound on the 2nd count, and that makes our pulse a little more interesting too, because we had something that was missing, but we could feel that it was still there. So that's the silent part. And then the last thing that I have on my list here is to divide that pulse into parts. Okay, so I can divide it into various numbers of parts. Why don't I do that? I'll turn on this. And let's see. All right, so if I divide this pulse that I have going here into 2 parts, it would be like saying ice cream. Ice cream, 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 ice cream. So there I divided into 2 parts. If I wanted to divide it into 3 parts, it'd be like saying lemonade, 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 lemonade. Or 4 parts, like huckleberry. So that's another thing that I could do. And in our next lesson, I am going to combine all of those things so that you can hear the combination of pulse and rhythm. See you then.